My name is Uttam Tripathi. I head developer agencies and communities program at Google. So in summary, what my team does is we come up with programs that we can then take globally and help developers be successful as they build on Google technologies, open source technologies. And these are a couple of the programs that I run. What I'm hoping to talk today to the audience is our newest program, which is the Developer Agencies program that we launched globally a couple of months ago, and today we are launching it in Russia. And this program helps solve some of the needs that we have seen from the ecosystem point of view, the way we were engaging, and also is interesting for a lot of large partners, startups, and clients. So let's get into this. As I said, my team runs a lot of global programs. We have programs for startups, programs for developer communities, program for open source technologies, university programs. But one of the segments that we felt for a while that we didn't cater as well as we should have are developer agencies. And the reason for this kept getting stronger and stronger when we were talking to large partners and startups, and they were mentioning how a lot of their work gets done by agencies. So we felt the need to build something which is custom made for this audience. And therefore, this program was launched in January earlier this year. Developers.google.com/agency is where you can find all the program details. We also have a small video that we did as part of the launch. Unfortunately, because of some of the technical limitations today, I can't play the video here, but it's on our program website and YouTube. Feel free to go out and check it out. It talks in details about some of the experiences, both the agencies and also the large partners and startups as part of the program, what they have received and benefited. And as I said, we are very excited to launch this program publicly today here in Russia. In fact, as we talk, we already have 6 of the top 10 agencies in Russia who already applied for the program. When I say 6 out of top 10, this is based on the reward rating of 2016. And these are agencies like Clever Pumpkin, eLegion, Red Mat Robot, Surf Studio, Trinity Digital, and Touch Instinct. And the call for action for the audience here is, if you are an agency, would love to benefit from this program, go ahead and apply. In fact, in the audience, we also have Natalia, who is our developer relations person here in Moscow. You should connect with her. She would be able to share a lot more details in terms of the local engagement for the program. Eventually, the goal for this program is to help developer agencies get access to the latest tools and technologies, and eventually help deliver the greatest experiences as they build products and apps for their end clients. And what are some of the benefits that the agencies receive while they're part of the program? There's a set of special invitations. Google runs a lot of invite-only trainings for these agencies. We ran a training last year in London where some of the Russian agencies participated. We ran a training just a couple of months ago here in Moscow, where we talked about best practices on Android and Android N. Some of our partner agencies have been invited to Google I/O. That's happening in a couple of weeks in Mountain View, so 5 to 6 agencies are visiting over there. Recognition. If there is great work happening from these agencies, we plan to showcase it through our website, through our social channels, etc. There's training available. Google has partnered with Udacity to create Android Nano Degree curriculum. So if you are a Java developer but want to learn Android, that's a great way to do that. And that course is right now paid. But again, for the agencies in the program, their developers get access to that course for free. UX review. If you're working on an Android app and want to see if it meets the quality guidelines to get featured or published on Google Play as a top app, that UX review service is available as part of the program. And I'll, in a bit, talk about case studies where some of the apps actually used the service and eventually got featured and visibility on Google Play. And I think that when you are an agency and trying to cater to your client, that I think is a great value add. And finally, there's personalized support available as part of the one-on-one online support. So all the developers who are part of agencies in the program can actually raise ticket against our team. And this for me is a very strong support and value. Instead of being stuck on a problem for a day or two, you can really pick up a phone or get a question answered immediately. As I said, On March 30th, we ran an Android technical seminar here in Moscow, attended by all the agencies in the program. We covered some of the best practices around Android, Android Studio 2.0, Android N. In future, we plan to run more. So again, as more and more agencies join the program, it's easier for us to run events here locally than having to run it maybe in other cities in Europe, and people have to travel for that. I mentioned about the couple of case studies. So Tech Media, Hubber is one of the apps that got benefit in terms of the UX review. So their agencies used the UX review service as part of the program and eventually got featured on Google Play and helped increase their quality, their downloads, etc. And when you are a startup or even a large company, those additional installs that come in as part of the featuring is actually a great value. Another example is Alfastro, the insurance and banking app. The agency, again, in this case, used some of the UX review services and got the app featured on Google Play. So if this is exciting, and if you want to see some of these benefits for yourself, developers.google.com/agency is where you can go ahead and apply. The application is open right now, so you can go ahead and do that. And once you do that, you would actually be joining a pool of global agencies who are part of the program. The program is running in North America, in Western Europe, UK, in Russia, in India, and in future we plan to expand it to more countries. So this is very much a global program. And that's another benefits as part of this program is if you're looking to expand your market or start serving clients outside of Russia, this is a great channel to do that. As part of this program, one of the things that the team put out just a week ago is actually our thought around the best practices around outsourcing. And this is interesting both for agencies, but also for startups and large companies in the audience here who are looking at outsourcing parts or the complete app development to an external agency. It's available for free for download on Google Play. Again, go ahead and check it out. What I'll do quickly is go through some of the highlights from the playbook and hopefully get you guys excited to check it out after that. So typically in a life cycle of an outsourcing project, there are stages where you start preparing to engage with an agency, and then you go ahead and try to select the right one for you, get your app project underway, and finally execute successfully to deliver a great app experience. When you talk about prepare to engage with an agency, it starts with determining, is the agency approach right for you? Like, before you jump into like, I'm going to outsource it, does it make sense for your business case, or does it make sense for you to do it in-house? In a lot of cases, what we have seen is, especially for startups, they go to an agency to get the first prototype done, and then once that is out and they have gotten some sort of product market fit, that's when they build internal team and take it forward from there. So maybe that's the right model for you. But before you jump into this thing, that question is really key. Then the second question is map out all the internal stakeholders within your company that need to be involved as part of the project, because stakeholder buy-in early on will eventually lead to the success of the project. Adopt the right app strategy for you and your user. This is really key because as I said, we are also running this program actively in India, and one of the narratives in India, at least a year and a half ago, was strong native-only, app-only models being propagated. What that meant is startups and large companies were having their customers, if they go to a web page, now we can't serve you on a web page, you have to go and download our app to get our services, which actually is a bad user experience, right? You are turning away your customers who are coming to your website saying that we will only serve you through an app model, and therefore we encourage to build solutions that cater to users on all platforms. Android, iOS, mobile, web, everywhere, and that's something you should evaluate, especially when you're mapping out and how you will approach each platform. Then encourage you to set budget for long-term business value. Don't think of like, this app will take X amount of money and I will get it built, because eventually what you will need is you will have to spend a lot of money after that in terms of updates, in terms of feature enhancements. So when you're doing a budget planning, that's key. And finally, know what you're trying to measure as a success of your project over there. Is it brand visibility? Is it traction? Is it number of paid users? So that you are able to communicate that to the agency as they start working on that. So once you have all these things ready, the next step is start to identify the right agency for your project. Creating a list of prospective agencies is a good start. As part of our program, we hope to provide a vetted list of top agencies per country. So soon you can start actually going to our program website. For agencies on Google Technologies, you can start from there and look at other sources, right? I referred to one of those surveys from where we picked 6 out of 10, right? So that, again, is a good place to start with. The second is list out the right set of feature requests that will go as part of the RFP. This is really key because then an agency can go feature by feature and give detailed recommendations and detailed plans of how they are able to address that need. While you're in the process of evaluating agencies, it's really key to understand their depth of experience and trustworthiness, talking to their previous clients, getting references from them, is a best practice. Ensure that they are up to date on and doing the best when it comes to Google Technologies and Android best practices. Looking at their previous apps and seeing if they have been featured or if they're following material design, for example, is some of the things you should look at. And then understand your cost, not just the price for the agency, because if you are outsourcing some of the pieces, there might be additional costs that you have to incur in-house. Once all these things are sorted out, then you get the project underway. What that means is you identify a set of people within the company that will be working with an agency. You brief the agency, ideally bring everyone in. So if there are project members from your team that will be working actively with an agency, try to see if they can be in the space where in the city where the agency is based, or if some of the agency developers can come to your place. This is really key because sometimes through remote engagements, you don't get the best experience. So again, not required, but try to achieve this. And then in many cases, you will probably have to work with multiple agencies. One is great at web, one is great at iOS, one is great at Android. So make sure that you have that plan in mind as you do that. And finally, maintain open communication, especially if you have teams remotely set up, right? If your agency is in Russia and your project team is in London, make sure that those communication lines are active and there's regular sync up happening. Project methodology is well defined and understood, what's expected at each interval and how the payments are set up so that there is no one big bang surprise at the end. And be prepared to deal with change. Change happens in environment. Google launches a new technology, or Google launches a set of new APIs, or someone sunsets an existing technology, things like that. So you should always be prepared to handle those scenarios. Strive for architectural excellence and rigorous testing and documentation. This is, again, thinking of the app that you're building from a long-term point of view and not like a quick thing. And then before you ship out your app, I encourage you to check it with a trusted group of users. For Google Play, it's really easy through alpha, beta test channels. You can publish the app over there, get the real-time feedback, and then put it out. And then finally, in many cases, the agencies will need access to your developer Play console for publishing the app and also for tracking some of the analytics and like how the app is doing overall. So be prepared to do that. As I said, these are some of the best practices. The actual playbook is almost 100 pages long with much more detail. The idea is to encourage you guys to go ahead and check it out. And also, if this program is interesting for you as an agency, you can go ahead and apply. As a startup or a large company looking for agency to outsource some of your work, you can start actually engaging with the agencies who we, over a period of time, surface as part of the program. So with that, that's all I had, actually. Thank you so much. And if there are any questions.